What's up, Snapback fam? Welcome to a new show that I'm going to call 5-Minute Thoughts with Jack. Last night, the LSU Tigers took down the Clemson Tigers 42-25 to win the national championship. LSU finished 15-0, a perfect season. Joe Burrow, Heisman, absolute star power on the outside, and Jefferson and Chase. I mean, the LSU Tigers could go down as one of the best teams we've ever seen. An interesting comment after the game by Coach O that hits close to home for me is that he thought after they completed a 3rd and 17 with a small lead in Austin, Texas against my Longhorns, that's when he knew that they had the players and the team to make a national championship run. Well, a few months later, he has proved correct. This is one of the most dominating teams I have ever seen. Joe Burrow could not be stopped. They scored 42 last night against the number one defense in the country. Clemson was allowing the least points per game. And the 42, honestly, they got conservative. They started running out the clock with 8 minutes to go. This offense was absolutely lethal. You couldn't stop them. Shout out to Thaddeus Moss, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, the whole crew. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was an app. He is like a little Maurice Jones-Drew in the backfield. A little stubby guy, but he is elusive, man, and can break so many tackles. So LSU, they definitely are in my top 5 teams of all time. And people were complaining when the rankings came out that they were number 1. After the season is over, which is right now, the LSU Tigers will have beaten 7 teams in the top 10 rankings when the game started. Obviously, they beat Texas, who was top 10. They finished 25, but you get the point. 7 teams in the top 10 when the ball was kicked off. That is incredible. They ran through the SEC unscathed. They beat Alabama and Tuscaloosa. They beat the Big 12 champ. They beat the ACC champ. They beat the ACC champ who beat the Big 10 champ in Ohio State. LSU, a dominating performance. What to say about Clemson? Because there was a lot going on when they went up 17-7 and everyone's saying, well, why were we disrespecting Clemson this whole time? Should they have been 3? Should they have been 2? Listen, seeding between 2 and 3, not a huge factor, but it shows what the committee really thinks about Clemson and the ACC. They're going to get doubted. That's Trevor Lawrence's first loss, but they really didn't play much over the course of the season. They did defeat Ohio State. I think Ohio State has some regrets about how that game went down. They should definitely be back next year, though. Justin Fields returns. A lot of those stars return. They lose Okudah, their top corner, and they lose Chase Young, of course. But they have the power to get back to the college football playoffs and kind of ascend to the title game. LSU, for the other hand, they lose Joe Burrow. They're going to lose a lot of star players, but they have a coach that, man, I just trust him. I'm not sure who's going to be the quarterback next season, but I'm sure they will be fine. My Longhorns actually head to Baton Rouge. I will be there in September, so stay tuned for that. My one thought on the game, though, goes to Trevor Lawrence. Listen, he did not have his best game. It's his first loss as a college quarterback. He had never lost a game before, and he just didn't look too impressive. They went up 17-7. He looked really good. He was making some plays early, and then that LSU defense strapped him. That LSU defense was not shaky, but it wasn't elite like we thought it was going to be all year until they needed stops. I go back to a game earlier in the year against Florida. They hold the Gators to no points in the fourth quarter, and they kind of run away with that one. And then last night, they hold Clemson 8 points in the second half. This was an elite offense. Etienne didn't touch the ball really outside of 10 minutes left to go in the third. That's questionable, but you fall behind. Can't really run the ball. You can't sacrifice 3-yard runs for 40 seconds off the clock. So shout out to LSU. Joe Burrow will be drafted number 1 to the Cincinnati Bengals, which will be in the AFC North. That division will be Lamar, Burrow, Baker. Steelers probably make a move, or they roll with Duck Hodges. TBD on that, but that's going to be a great division of quarterbacking. Man, Burrow is special. Look out for him in the league. And don't sleep on Lawrence, because next year he will be balling out and will go number 1 in the NFL draft. Thank you guys for watching this first episode of 5 Minutes with Jack. I will catch you next time.